Hello and welcome to the wrap-up on UCFM, bringing you the latest from the UC community each week. I'm your host, Ben, and unfortunately it's just me today, but we'll still have a lot of fun. On today's show, we've got Professor Arthur Georges from the Institute of Applied Ecology in the Faculty of Science and Technology in the studio to celebrate National Science Week and teach us about turtles. Later, we'll be chatting with the UC Pakistani Student Association to find out more about their club and what they do, as well as bringing you the latest UC news and weekly events guide. Before we get into it, just a reminder to follow our socials at UCFM_87.8 to keep up to date with everything happening, and to join the conversation with us by sending a message during the show on our text line 0415774405, and I would really love for someone to do that. We haven't gotten one just yet, but it'll be really exciting, so please do that. And if you're not already, you can listen to us live on the iHeartRadio app. So let's wrap things up. Now, in case you didn't know, this week is National Science Week. There have been lots of exciting events happening all over town to celebrate and explore science. At UC, we're lucky enough to have the entire Faculty of Science and Technology dedicated to science, and this week we're joined by distinguished Professor Arthur Georges, an internationally renowned evolutionary ecologist and herpetologist working with the Institute of Applied Ecology in the Faculty of Science and Technology. Hello and welcome, Arthur.
Great to be with you, Ben, on Science Week.
Definitely. So first and foremost, for anyone who doesn't know, could you give us a little rundown on what an ecologist and a herpetologist does?
Basically, we study reptiles and amphibians as a alternate model to the more conventional studies that are done on mice, rats, and humans. And of course, most people probably don't realise this, but we're much more closely related than you would think, and all the genes and gene interactions that play out in reptiles and amphibians are the same genes and similar gene interactions that play out in humans. And so you can learn an awful lot by studying some of these left-of-field organisms in terms of sort of discoveries that are relevant to humans, and also interesting in their own right.
Yeah, and what's a memorable story that you've encountered in your field work that illustrates the turtles' unique adaptations? Because I know that you have a particular interest in turtles.
Yes, I've been interested in turtles since I did my PhD on Fraser Island and the turtles in the Dune Lakes. But basically, I became more interested in sort of questions of substance, and the one that really attracted my attention was the fact that in many reptiles the sex of the offspring is determined by the temperature of incubation, and so I got very interested in that sort of the fundamental questions that surround that particular topic. And of course, turtles were interesting because quite a few of them have this temperature dependent sex determination, or TSD. And so that took me up to the Northern Territory to work on the pig-nosed turtle in the Daly River, which is a iconic species, last member of its family, and it's got TSD.
Yeah, and I know you also recently received an award, the Baylor Turtle Conservation Award, in July. And congratulations on that, first of all.
Thank you.
So for this award, I guess, how would you say it elevates the field in the public and the government's eyes?
Well, I think basically the award is for turtle conservation, and so although I study fundamental questions of in the biology of turtles, I've got a keen eye out for relevance and for potential application. And so this award reflects the fact that a lot of the fundamental discoveries that I have made and my team has made has relevance to conservation, and that built up a sort of a reputation for our contributions to turtle conservation in Australia and more broadly. And so this award was given to me in recognition of those contributions.
Yeah, and I guess touching on the noble task of ensuring conservation of turtles in Australia, what sort of challenges do they face in staying conserved, I guess?
Yeah, I think people don't realise, they realise that our marsupials are uniquely Australian. Everyone knows about the koala and kangaroos, but what people don't realise is that the freshwater turtles in Australia are similarly unusual in the sense that they're only found in Australia or Australasia and South America. So they've gone to anal origin. They're not even found outside that range as fossils. So they're southern continent origin turtles. And so they're uniquely different from turtles elsewhere in the world. That's the first thing. The second thing is that Australia's gone through a lot of progressive aridity. It's got more and more arid over the last 15 years. That accelerated over the last 15,000 years, and that's presented some really unique challenges for freshwater turtles. They're on the driest vegetated continent on Earth, and yet they're reliant on fresh waters. And so they've generated a whole suite of adaptations that are uniquely Australian to deal with those challenges. And that makes them sort of able to make a unique contribution to our understanding of turtles globally.
Mm. And I guess touching on you personally, what made you sort of fall in love with turtles and want to study them full time?
Oh, gee, that's a tough one. So when you're a young student, you're looking for opportunities to study interesting things, and I had the pleasure of working on blue-tongued skinks for my honours year, and it was a physiological project, and I didn't really warm to manipulating animals in the context that you needed to study their physiology. So I turned to ecology, and had the opportunity to work on the iconic sort of freshwater turtles of Fraser Island in the unique dune lakes there, and see how they managed to thrive and survive in that really nutrient deficient, highly acidic environment of the dune lakes on Fraser Island. And of course Fraser Island was under a lot of pressure back then for potential development, and so any information that could be gathered on the unique biological attributes of Fraser Island were useful in marshalling arguments against developing the island and putting it under urbanisation.
Yeah, and how do you see the field sort of going in the future? Are you hopeful that turtles are safe for generations to come?
Well, I mean, the turtles are in trouble, and they're up there with primates and amphibians as the vertebrate groups that are under the most severe pressure from human-induced change to the environment, including climate change, but also land use and habitat change, water resource development, introduced foxes, introduced cane toads. All these things are putting pressure on freshwater turtles in Australia. And of course they're because of that progressive aridity, because we're now the driest continent on Earth, a lot of these species are now relictual lineages, so they're very distinct, but they're only found in single drainages. And so that makes them particularly vulnerable to the tyranny of 1,000 cuts, which is coming from all the different pressures that we're putting on them. So our turtles are in trouble, and a lot of them are at risk of extinction, and that's reflected in the classification they have under the Commonwealth EPBC Act.
Yeah, I mean, do you see the government responding well to your work and really trying to help keep them safe?
Well, yes and no. I mean, when the rubber hits the road in terms of development that's going to create jobs and income, and the turtles are sort of sitting as the meat in the sandwich there, then often better decisions could be made. But I think on the positive side, there's an awful lot now happening, and it's largely because the general population has become aware of the plight of the turtles. There's this 1 Million Turtles initiative that's run by a colleague of mine out of Western Sydney, where people can report when they see turtles on their phone, and it builds up a great knowledge base of where the turtles are found, where they're being run over on the roads, where they're nesting, where foxes have been eating them, and it's building up this resource, but it's also engaging people in the plight of the turtles, and that brings pressure against governments at all levels, and many governments are responding positively. So local councils and main roads departments are looking very closely at building fencing to guide the turtles through the underpasses under the roads, and that has a massive benefit in terms of reduced mortality on the roads. And it's a little extra cost, given the cost of the road, and because of I guess because of public pressure and citizen science and people available to monitor the impact of these things, they're coming around to building these things all around the country. And there's other examples. So foxes are devastatingly efficient at getting the eggs of these turtles and also killing the adults, which is really bad. And so when you've got water bodies, putting an island in a water body has a massive benefit for the turtles if you construct that island the right way, because then they can nest on the islands and the foxes can't get the eggs. And there's a big initiative there for building islands in ponds in golf courses, in urban ponds, to build up the capacity of these animals to recruit new turtles back into the environment. So there's lots of initiatives on the ground that don't cost a lot of money. Industry can get involved. They're happy to get involved because the citizens get involved with the industry, and it's a really positive sort of interaction with good conservation outcomes. So there's a lot of positive things going on, which give me hope for the future.
Yeah. And I guess before we wrap up, do you have any fun turtle facts that you want to share for the audience?
Well, the fun turtle fact, I guess, is that a lot of Australian turtles, including one named after me, the most beautiful turtle in the universe, many of our Australian turtles breathe through their bums. And so they're bum breathers in the sense that they ventilate their cloacas. So if you put a feather behind their bottom, they suck the feather in and out, in and out, in and out. And so they're ventilating their cloacas, and they've got gills inside there that draw oxygen out of the water. And this has a massive advantage, particularly for the little ones, because they don't have to come up as often to breathe. And when they come up to breathe, that's when they're vulnerable to be taken by eagles and kingfishers and other birds, and also fish. So being able to stay down in the rocky bottom for much longer by being able to take oxygen out of the water is a massive advantage. And so, it's one of the things that's pretty unusual about Australian turtles. The other one's vocalisation. So we don't really think about turtles sort of talking to each other. But if you put a hydrophone under the water, you find that they are, and that they have a repertoire of around 21 different sounds that they can use to communicate with each other. And it's not just during mating. There's quite a conversation going on under the water there that it sort of indicates there's probably more complex social structure than we would otherwise think. So
I love that.
they're two things that are really interesting about Australian turtles.
Well, I guess on that note, thank you so much, Professor Georges, for joining me on the wrap-up today.
Well, thanks for having me today.
So now it's time to get into the UC News Wrap. This week, UC released its Reconnected 2025 to 2027 plan, which takes a fresh perspective to shaping UC in a modern Australian university. Reconnected provides a framework for the rejuvenation of UC and will equip us with the equip us to be responsive, in a constantly changing environment for our students, academics, professional staff, and the community of Canberra and surrounding regions to thrive. Importantly, Reconnected takes a students-first approach that focuses our attention on seeking our graduates for any age to achieve their personal and professional ambitions. For more information on Reconnected, check out the UC website. This week on Uncover, read about Lucy Francis's story, which shows how UC's school-based teacher education program, UC STEP, is empowering professionals to make a career change. When Lucy was considering a career change, the program was the catalyst for taking the leap. The program combined a built-in mentorship, paid work, and additional financial support so that she could make a sustainable career change. What has stood out for Lucy is the collegiality and sense of community among UC STEP participants coming from a variety of professional backgrounds. And congratulations to Taylor Holdman, a student of Master of Pharmacy, for being a recognised national finalist in the Pharmaceutical Society of Australia's annual Pharmacy Awards. Coming from Narcoot in rural South Australia, Taylor has served for over 8 years in the front line as an ambulance officer in South Australia, a FIFO paramedic in Western Australia, and now a paramedic in New South Wales. Taylor is pursuing her calling to become a pharmacist in her community and providing accessible healthcare to those who need it. As one of only a few finalists in the PSA Veritas Pharmacy Student of the Year Awards, Taylor says, I have appreciated and enjoyed being a part of this year's competition. It has helped advance my communication skills and challenged me in practicing a variety of scenarios. And nominations are now open for multiple positions on the Student Representative Council SRC for a one-year term starting on January 1st, 2026. Information on the positions and how to nominate can be found on the About UC page on the UC website. Nominations close August 29th. And the 24-hour Digital Design Challenge is back for 2025 and registrations are now open. The 24-hour Digital Design Challenge is an intense and exhilarating event where participants are given a design prompt and then 24 hours to create and submit. There are 4 areas of submission: screen media, including short films, documentaries, and animation; interactive media, including game design and AR/VR experiences; written media, including short stories, news stories, poem series, and comic books; and visualization media, including architectural design, visual communication, and product design. The challenge is open to all UC students regardless of their area of study, and you can compete in person or online. It will be taking place on September 20th to the 21st, with over $1,500 worth of prizes on offer. Search 24-hour Digital Design Challenge for more and to register. And finally, have you done your student experience survey yet? I know I have, and this is your chance to have a say in how we can make UC even better. Link is in the UC Instagram bio, or check out the student bulletin this week in your email. And that's the latest from around campus. And now it's time to chat with one of UC's student clubs and societies. This week we're joined by Mohammed from the UC Pakistani Student Association. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me here.
Certainly. And just to start us off, could you tell us a little bit about your club?
Yeah, sure. So we started UC Pakistani Student Association starting of this year in January. So the reason behind this to bring all the Pakistani students together, because we know there's a lot of Pakistani students studying here. A lot of them are from international students. So they were not all together, right? So we just wanted to have a club where they can come together, have fun, make friends, and have a Pakistani culture and bring Pakistani culture into the UC.
Yeah, and what kind of events, I guess, have you run and do you expect to run in the future?
So we have a lot of Pakistani event in first semester. So one was like Dastane Chai. So we had a original Pakistani chai for the first time at UC.
Yeah.
So we give it to a lot of our friends, especially to like our foreign friends, like an Indian and especially Aussie friends to try the tea. And of course, our tea is one of the fantastic tea which is well known in the world. So yeah, so we had Dastane Chai. We had a lot of like grand iftar. So we collaborated with UC Bangladeshi and a Muslim society, and we had a grand iftar at UC. Around 250 students were there. And for this semester, we are bringing one of the biggest event, which is Qawwali event, which has never happened in Canberra before.
Wow, I mean that's exciting. How often should students expect you guys to meet?
What
I mean is how often do you guys meet up with your fellow Pakistani students?
Yeah, so we do meet up every day, every single day after this association. So we decided a time like after our jobs and after uni, we selected a time like from 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. Either we go to play paddle, either we go to bowling, or either we just have dinner with our friends. So like around 5 or 6 times a week we met.
Wow, yeah.
That's
very often. I'm kind of jealous. I mean, for anyone who's listening, is this club open to anyone in UC?
Yeah, it's open to every nationality. We welcome everyone. We particularly have event, not every week, but 2 or 3 event every month to showcase what Pakistani people are, what our culture is, what our food is, and how we treat people. Of course, our hospitality has been known around the world. We are very nice people. Yeah. So we do have especially Pakistani food on our events. We literally invite every nationality is welcome to try our food, and most of our events are free. So
Yeah.
you can join in if you want to.
And I guess I'm sort of curious, how did you originally get involved with the association?
So I was the one. So I'm the founder, and I was the one
Oh,
who started
wow,
this
yeah.
association. So I used to have many Chinese and Vietnamese friends here, right? But I never had a Pakistani friends before. I only know one or two. So I'm like, and everyone used to say there's a lot of Pakistani students studying here. So I'm like, how come I never met any of them? So that's when idea generated the start of this year. So I emailed UC. I'm like, I need to have this UC Pakistani club, and I have to have it right now. Literally, I'm like, yeah, you need to have it. And then during after having a club, during around 1 or 2 months, we achieve 100 members, more than 100 membership, and there's a lot of people who come and join us. Most of them are Pakistanis. So, yeah.
And what's the response been from Pakistani students at UC?
Our response have been very great. So our average attendee has been more than 50-60 on our event. So yeah, and we since the start of the club, we have our social media. We had more than 300 followers in less than 6 months, and we beat a lot of clubs who were established before us.
That's exciting.
So, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, for anyone who is looking to find out more or join, how can we find you?
So we have a UC Pakistani Student Association Insta handle, so they can come and follow us for more updates. And we have our WhatsApp as well, link on the Insta bio. If you just click and join our WhatsApp, you will get us. You will get the daily updates. You'll get the discounts and everything, and you'll get to know what our updates are. Yeah.
That's exciting. I mean, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Before we get into the events guide for this week, I have to announce the winners for the Ruby Fields ticket giveaway. Ruby Fields is playing UC Hub tomorrow night, and our friends at UC Live X gave us 3 double passes to give away, which is a lot. Drum roll, please. Congratulations to Kia, Amina, and Sarah C for the tickets. Please check your DMs on Insta, and we will send them. We'll send more info there. And if you weren't lucky enough to score some free tickets, you can still grab tickets for the show on MoshTix for $45.65. So 64 cents. So definitely do that. I mean, that I will say that song was great. I definitely need to buy tickets myself. And also tune into UCFM tomorrow from 12 p.m. to hear James chatting with Ruby on Local Lunch. Now, let's take a look at the upcoming events on campus. Tomorrow, Friday, August 15th, early risers can join the Off the Grid Girls Club for a sunrise side quest hike up Mount Painter at 6:15 a.m., very early. And you can check their socials out for more info. And social badminton is also happening in the sports hall from 12:30 p.m. Friday games are happening with UC Rec in the UCX Student Lounge from 5 p.m. And as mentioned, Ruby Fields will be playing UC Hub from 7 p.m. with tickets on sale right now on MoshTix. And on Monday, August 18th, Social Sport is happening from 12:30 on the Concourse lawns. And head to the library for some Dungeons & Dragons with UC Rec from 5 p.m. On Tuesday, August 19th, head to the UCX Student Lounge in Building 1 for a free brekkie from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And at 5:30 p.m., head to UC Bar X for some weekly trivia. And on Wednesday, August 20th, if you're new to UC, head to the coffee grounds between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. to chat with UC student mentors. They are there to connect with you for support, friendly chats, or just a study buddy. And the Concourse Lawns will be host to Social Dodgeball from 12:30 p.m. And the UC Medical and Counselling Centre is offering a free weekly group for UC students who have been diagnosed with or think they might have ADHD. This will run from 12:30 p.m. and is led by a senior psychologist. The group will look at understanding and developing strategies to manage concentration, attention, and time more effectively, plus the importance of routine and structure in our daily lives. This week's session is online, so head to the UC Events page for more info on how to join. And Musical Bingo is happening at UC Bar X from 6:30 p.m. And on Thursday, August 21st, Curio Collective is happening from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. in 1C75, right above the refractory. It's a fortnightly meetup for readers and contributors of Curio to share their work in a supportive and collaborative environment. And that's what's happening around UC. Make sure to check out the UC events pages and UC socials for more info on these events and to find out what else is happening around campus. Well, sadly, that's all we have time for today, but thanks for joining me on the wrap-up. There's always something happening around campus, so make sure you keep an eye out on socials and the student bulletin. You can listen to this episode of the wrap-up and past episodes on our website, ucfm.com.au, or find the podcast version wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to follow our socials at UCFM_87.8. We'll be back again next week to keep you updated with what's going on around UC, but until then, that's a wrap.